$24 billion. 3 ships. That's $8 billion per destroyer. With guns that cost $800,000 per bullet. Bullets they will never fire. This is the USS Zumwalt, America's most advanced warship. And it can't shoot its own guns. Sound like incompetence? It's not. This is a procurement strategy called Concurrency. And it's working exactly as designed. Today, I'll show you how the Pentagon turned America's most revolutionary warship into a $24 billion floating museum. We'll follow the money from Congress to contractors. See how 32 ships became 3. And learn the hidden mechanism that makes cancellation politically impossible. This isn't a story about failure. What you're about to see comes from official sources. GRO audits, Navy budget reports, and congressional testimony. These are the Pentagon's own numbers. This is a story about a system working perfectly. For everyone except you. To understand how we got here, we need to go back to 1998. The Cold War was over. The Soviet Navy was rusting in port. And the United States Navy was searching for a new mission. The answer came in 2 words: literal combat. Fighting close to shore, supporting troops on land, projecting power into enemy territory. And to do that, the Navy needed a new kind of ship. In 1998, they launched the DD-21 program, later renamed DDX, and finally DDG-1000. The promise was revolutionary. 32 next-generation destroyers, each costing around $2 billion. Total program, $64 billion. But these weren't ordinary destroyers. The Zumwalt would feature a tumble-home hull, the first on a major warship in over a century. Advanced stealth technology, making a 15,000-ton ship look like a fishing boat on radar. An integrated power system, generating enough electricity to power a small city. And most importantly, the advanced gun system. 2 155mm guns with 10 times the range of existing naval guns. Precision strikes from 100 miles offshore. Admiral Mike Mullen, who would later become chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, championed the program. He called it the future of naval warfare. 32 revolutionary ships, $2 billion each. Land attack capability that would make aircraft carriers jealous. It sounded incredible. So what went wrong? The answer lies in a single word: concurrency. Concurrency. It sounds technical, boring, even. But it's the most important word in defense procurement. And once you understand it, you'll see it everywhere. Here's what concurrency means. Start building before testing is complete. The official justification: speed up delivery. The real reason: lock in funding before problems emerge. Here's how it works. Step 1. Promise: revolutionary capability. This ship will transform naval warfare. We need it now. Step 2. Start production before research and development is complete. We can't wait for all the testing. The threat is too urgent. Step 3. When problems emerge, and they always do, too much money has already been spent. Congress now faces a choice: cancel the program and waste billions of taxpayer dollars, or keep funding and hope the problems get fixed. They almost always keep funding. Why does the Pentagon do this? Because the budget system rewards it. Use it or lose it. If you don't spend your budget, you get less next year. Because politics protects it. This program supports jobs in 40 states. Good luck finding enough votes to cancel. And because contractors profit from it. Cost plus contracts mean more problems equal more profit. The Government Accountability Office, the GAO, has been warning about concurrency for decades. They wrote report after report, testified before Congress, pleaded with the Pentagon to change. Nothing changed. Because concurrency isn't a bug in the system. It is the system. By 2005, the Navy had spent $4 billion on Zumwalt. 0 ships delivered. Major technology problems emerging. But cancellation would waste $4 billion. So they kept going. And that's when things got really expensive. Starting with the most expensive bullet in history. The Advanced Gun System. This was supposed to be Zumwalt's killer feature. 2 massive 155mm guns. GPS-guided projectiles. 100-mile range. The Navy called it the most capable naval gun system ever built. And technically, they were right. The guns worked. The problem was the bullets. The long-range land attack projectile. LRAP. Essentially a GPS-guided rocket fired from a gun. Original cost estimate about $35,000 per round. Expensive, but manageable. By 2016, the actual cost had reached $800,000 per round. Some estimates put it closer to $1 million. For a single bullet. How did this happen? Economy of scale. In reverse. When the Navy planned to buy 32 ships, they would need thousands of rounds. Spread the development costs across thousands of bullets. And each one is affordable. But when they cut the fleet to just 3 ships, suddenly you're spreading those development costs across not many bullets. The math simply didn't work anymore. In November 2016, the Navy made an announcement. The LRLAP program was cancelled. Too expensive to fire. Those were the actual words. But here's the thing. No alternative ammunition was developed. Nothing. So now America has 3 of the most advanced destroyers ever built. With the most capable naval guns ever designed. That can never be used. Floating museums. $24 billion. Ships with guns that can't shoot. But wait. Remember those 32 ships? Let's count what's left. Let's follow the numbers. 132 ships planned at $2 billion each. Total $64 billion. 2005, reduced to 24 ships. Costs rising. 2008, reduced to 7 ships, at $3.5 billion each. 2009, reduced to 3 ships at $7 billion, plus. 2022, the final accounting. 3 ships. $8 billion each. Total program cost $24 billion. Let me put that in perspective. Original promise, 32 ships. Actual delivery, 3 ships. That's a 91% reduction in the fleet. Original cost, $2 billion per ship. Actual cost, $8 billion per ship. That's a 300% increase in price. In February 2010, the program hit what's called a Nunn-McCurdy breach. That's a law that says if costs grow more than 25%, you have to either cancel the program or justify continuing. The Pentagon's justification: national security. 2 words. That's all it takes. Program restructured, not cancelled. The pattern continued. But here's where it gets creative. The original mission was land attack, supporting troops ashore. Problem: the SPY-3 radar isn't great for air defense. Problem: the guns can't fire. So what do you do when your ship can't do its job? You change the job. November 2017. The Navy quietly announced a mission change. Land attack became offensive surface strike. Whatever that means. 91% of the fleet gone. 300% cost growth. And somehow, no one is held accountable. In fact, they're doubling down. When the original mission fails, what do? You don't admit failure. You change the mission. We've already seen it once. Land attack became offensive surface strike in 2017. But it didn't stop there. In 2022, the Navy announced another change. The Zumwalt would become a hypersonic missile platform. Here's what that means. Remove the advanced gun system, the guns that can't shoot. Install conventional prompt strike. Hypersonic missiles cost additional billions. Think about this. They're spending more money to remove the main weapon system from ships that already cost $8 billion each, because the original mission failed, and the new mission requires different weapons. But here's the thing. Zumwalt isn't unique. This is a pattern. The F-35, $2 trillion program, still not fully combat ready. The literal combat ship, $22 billion for ships the Navy doesn't want. The KC-46 tanker, $8 billion for a plane that can't safely refuel others. Same playbook every time. Concurrency leads to problems. Problems lead to cost growth. Cost growth leads to restructuring. And the program continues. So who wins? Contractors win. Cost plus contracts mean more cost equals more profit. General Dynamics, Raytheon, BAE, Systems. They all got paid. Politicians win. This program supports jobs in my district. Pentagon leadership wins. Bigger budgets. More programs. More power. Who loses? Taxpayers. $24 billion. Sailors. Ships that can't fight. National security. Fewer capable ships in the fleet. So what's the lesson here? And more importantly, how do you spot the next Zumwalt before it happens? Here's what I want you to understand. The Zumwalt isn't a failure of the system. It's evidence the system works exactly as designed. Designed to start building before testing. Designed to lock in funding before problems emerge. Designed to make cancellation politically impossible. Designed to profit contractors regardless of results. So how do you spot the next Zumwalt? Look for these red flags. 1. Revolutionary technology promises. This will transform everything. 2. Production starting before testing is complete. We can't wait. 3. Cost estimates that seem too good to be true. They probably are. 4. Jobs in your district justification. That's political cover, not strategic value. 5. Mission keeps changing, but program continues. If the goalposts keep moving, ask, why? The real question isn't, why did Zumwalt fail? The real question is, why do we keep letting this happen? And the answer is simple. Because for the people who design these systems, the contractors, the politicians, the Pentagon leadership, they're not failing. They're working perfectly. So where does that leave us? $24 billion. 3 ships that can't shoot their own guns. 91% of the fleet eliminated. 300% cost growth. And no one held accountable. This isn't incompetence. This is the procurement system working exactly as designed. The mechanism is called concurrency. Build before you test. Lock in the funding. Make cancellation impossible. Profit regardless of results. And it's being used right now. On programs you haven't heard of yet. With your tax dollars. So here's my challenge to you. Next time you hear about a revolutionary weapons program, ask one question. Are they building before testing? If the answer is yes, you've found the next Zumwalt. Knowledge is the first step. Pattern recognition is the second. And holding the system accountable, that's on all of us. Want to see this same pattern in the most expensive weapons program in history? Watch our video on the F-35. $2 trillion and counting. Link in the description. If this video helped you understand how defense spending really works, hit subscribe. We expose the hidden mechanisms behind government waste. Every week, with receipts. Stay skeptical. Stay informed.